Did you know that nearly 60% of adults in 2025 still don't have enough saved to cover a $1,000 emergency? But even with more people talking about financial preparedness than ever before, most still don't know how much they really need saved. Have you ever wondered how much is actually enough in today's economy? Does the old 3 to 6 months of expenses rule still work? And what if you're living paycheck to paycheck or trying to build wealth at the same time? Let's break it down step by step. No hype, no jargon, just the real numbers, realistic strategies, and what actually works in 2025. Why emergency funds still matter, and now more than ever. Here's the truth. An emergency fund isn't just for the what ifs. It's your peace of mind fund. In a world where layoffs happen overnight, car repairs cost thousands, and healthcare bills show up out of nowhere, your emergency fund gives you breathing room. Think about it. Over the last few years, we've seen inflation spike, interest rates shoot up, and people with side hustles struggling to keep up. Emergencies aren't rare anymore. They're just part of life. And here's the part most people miss. A credit card is not an emergency fund. Sure, it can cover the cost, but it creates a new problem, debt. So no matter your age or income, this is about protecting your future. How much do you really need in 2025? Let's talk numbers. The old advice said 3 to 6 months of expenses. But is that still enough? With inflation pushing up rent, food, gas, and insurance, that old rule might fall short. So here's a better way to think about it. Tier 1, starter fund, $1,000 to $2,500. If you're just getting started or living paycheck to paycheck, this is your first goal. Enough to cover a car repair, small medical bill, or last-minute travel. Perfect for side hustlers, recent grads, or anyone earning on the lower end. Tier 2, core fund, 1 to 3 months of basic expenses. Next, build up to cover your true essentials: rent, food, utilities, gas, insurance. This is your cushion if your job disappears or hours get cut. Tier 3, full fund, 4 to 6 months. Ideal for families, couples with kids, or anyone in a volatile field like media, tech, or gig work. This gives you enough time to look for a new job without panic. Bonus tier, retirement buffer, 9 to 12 months. If you're close to retirement or already there, this is the gold standard. It keeps you from dipping into investments during a market dip. And if you're self-employed, you may even want to stretch beyond 6 months, just to account for income gaps, delayed payments from clients, or seasonal slowdowns. The key is tailoring the amount to your lifestyle and risk exposure. What works for a single renter in a salaried role isn't going to cut it for a family of 4 running a small business. Where to keep your emergency fund? Here's something most people overlook. Where you keep your emergency fund matters almost as much as having one in the first place. You want your money to be easy to access, but not too easy. Because if it's sitting in your checking account, it can quietly disappear into groceries, subscriptions, or impulse buys. But if it's locked up in an investment you can't touch without penalties or market risk, you've defeated the purpose. So what's the sweet spot? High yield savings account. This is your best bet in 2025. It's FDIC insured, so your money's safe up to $250,000. You'll earn around 4% interest, depending on the provider. And you can access the funds in 1 to 2 business days, usually through a simple transfer. It's the perfect balance between access and insulation. You won't touch it by accident, but it's there when life hits. Money market account. Think of this as a cousin to the high-yield savings account. Slightly higher interest in some cases, still insured and liquid. May come with limited check writing or debit card access for true emergencies. These are great for people who want a little more structure or a slight bump in yield without sacrificing safety. A bit of cash at home. This surprises some people, but yes, keeping a small stash of physical cash at home is smart. Not your whole emergency fund. Just $100 to $300. Why? Because sometimes emergencies come with power outages, card malfunctions, or payment network issues. If ATMs go down, or you're in a situation where you need to act fast, having actual bills on hand can be a lifesaver. Just keep it hidden, secure, and not somewhere you'll accidentally dip into for pizza. Here's what to avoid. Number 1, CDs, certificates of deposit. Yes, they're safe, but they lock your money for 6 to 12 months or longer. And getting it out early usually means paying a penalty. That defeats the whole purpose of fast access. Number 2, stocks, crypto, or risky investments. Markets go up and down. If you need your money during a downturn, you might be forced to sell at a loss. Emergency funds are not about growth. They're about stability. This isn't the place to gamble. Number 3, regular checking accounts. It's just too easy to spend from here. Out of sight, out of mind works in your favor when saving. Keep your emergency fund in a separate space so it doesn't get tangled up in your day-to-day spending. Here's the mindset shift. This isn't money you're trying to grow fast. It's money you're trying to protect from emergencies, from yourself, from uncertainty. Think of it as your financial fire extinguisher. You hope you never need it, but when the flames hit, it better be easy to grab. Mistakes to avoid. Let's talk about what trips people up. Not because they're careless, but because we're all human. And money? It's emotional. Here are the most common mistakes people make with emergency funds and how you can sidestep them. Mistake number 1, using it for non-emergencies. Look, life throws temptations at us every day. A last-minute weekend getaway, a limited-time sale on that 65-inch TV. You tell yourself, it's technically unexpected, so maybe it counts? But here's the deal. If it doesn't affect your health, your home, or your ability to earn an income, it's not an emergency. Your emergency fund isn't a convenience account. It's your lifeline. So set a personal rule. If I wouldn't be panicking without it, it's not an emergency. Mistake number 2, waiting until you can afford to save. This one's sneaky, and it hits a lot of people with lower or inconsistent income. You think, once I make more, I'll start saving. But here's the hard truth. If you wait until you feel ready, you might never start. The key isn't waiting for extra money. It's building the habit with what you have now. Even $10 a week builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Progress beats perfection every single time. Start where you are, not where you wish you were. Mistake number 3, keeping it all in cash, or worse, your checking account. Some people leave their emergency fund in an envelope or a standard checking account. That's risky. First, cash loses value over time, thanks to inflation. $1 today buys less tomorrow. Second, if your money sits in checking, it's dangerously easy to spend. You might not even realize you're dipping into it until it's too late. Instead, move your emergency fund to a high-yield savings account. In 2025, many of these offer 4% or more in interest. That's free money just for keeping your buffer in the right place. It's liquid, it's earning, and it's separate from your daily spending. That's the goal. Mistake number 4, not refilling it after you use it. Here's the part people forget. Your emergency fund is meant to be used. And if you ever need it, great. That means it did its job. But what often happens is this. You use it during a crisis. You get through it, you're relieved, and then you move on. Months pass, maybe years, and suddenly, another emergency shows up, but your fund is still empty. Refill it as soon as the storm clears. Even small deposits, $25 here, $100 there, help rebuild your safety net faster than you think. Treat it like restocking your fridge after a storm. You wouldn't wait until the next hurricane to go shopping, right? Bonus mistake. Not knowing how much you actually need. One more thing. Some people just pick a random number, like $1,000 or $5,000, without calculating their true monthly needs. But your emergency fund should be custom built to your lifestyle. If your bills are $2,800 a month, then a $1,000 fund won't carry you very far. Take 20 minutes, run the numbers, and give yourself a realistic target, whether that's 3 months of expenses, 6, or more. Emergency funds only work when they match your actual life, not a one-size-fits-all goal. Final thoughts. Look, life is unpredictable, but your response to it doesn't have to be. This fund is your fallback plan, your sleep better at night money. And the good news? You don't need to save thousands overnight. Start with what you can, stay consistent, and celebrate every win. By the end of the year, you'll look back and realize you did something powerful. You gave yourself peace of mind. If this helped, hit that like button, subscribe for more clear, no-nonsense money advice, and drop a comment. How much do you want in your emergency fund this year? Let's talk about it.